Hi guys and welcome in one of my first look videos. This time we have on table, I hope, a worthy contender, because this is basically another DartZeel clone. This one is called NHB-108, so basically like original DartZeel, but this one is produced by the company with the name that sounds, I don't know actually how it sounds, but it looks like cat running through keyboard. ASYPDZSW. One thing, yes, it does catch attention with that name. So I got this one because I was very curious about other DartZeel implementations. So now, right now we will have Transaudio one, we will have this one, and I'm eyeing with curiosity the gold ones, the ones that are supposed to be one-to-one copy of DartZeel. But these are like how much are they? Like $2,500, something like that. So as a step on the ladder, I got this one, and this one will set you back something like $575 US. At least that was what I've paid for that. That included some coupons. That would be the regular price without shipping. Shipping was something like additional $100, but I was able to lower the final price with coupons for the same amount of money. So all in all, the base price was what I actually paid. $575 according to my AliExpress purchase history. Okay, first look, no listening sessions yet. It's still ahead of the burn-in, so we'll be just looking at the outside, and we'll be taking a quick look what's inside of this amplifier. On the front we have a power switch, and the logo and Pro lettering on the front are being backlit, so they look quite nice. The middle part here, it's plastic, and it's something like plexiglass, and it's protected by a foil protector. I haven't removed that one yet because I'll be moving this amplifier around during burn-in. So if I have something that will protect the middle panel from scratches, I'm happy with something like that. So the sides. On the sides we'll have fins from the heatsink. They are thinner than in Transaudio chassis. As you can see, they are quite long, but they are not as thick. Yeah, so let's move to the back. Oh, wow, that was close. And what do we have in the back? In the back, we have set of speaker outputs, we have RCA inputs, and we have balanced XLR inputs that can be selected with switches down here for right channel, left channel. And we also have a power socket here with integrated fuse compartment, and as you can see, my device is 250 volts version, and it has some nice sticker with quality control passed. There's nothing interesting on the bottom of the device, so I won't be showing anything there, and it's quite heavy, so I'm lazy and I won't be showing you the bottom plate with some screws only. Okay, if you are wondering what's that, that's my high-tech solution for removing the top plate, because top plate is mounted slightly different than in Transaudio chassis. This one is slightly the top plate here is surrounded by heatsinks and the front and the back plate, which means that you can not use any kind of lever for it unless you want to scratch the device. So I've used a couple of, not a couple, just a piece of wire to lift it up like that. Yeah, Oh yeah, the thickness. The thickness, it's pretty thick. I'd say 3 millimeters, something like that. And now what do we have inside here? We have two toroidal transformers. You cannot see it from that point of view. They have labels with specs on the side facing the underneath of the power boards, but I was able to use my flashlight and take a look there, and these are rated for 400 watts each. Excuse me. Then we have two power boards, and these are completely same boards for one channel and for the other channel. One of them is just slightly rotated. What's interesting here is, let's maybe zoom a little. Yeah, this little board in the back. As you can see, the input cables from RCAs and XLRs are going to this little board, and this little board actually goes down like that. And we have two balanced Texas Instruments INA-157 PA converters in DIP-8 sockets, but they're not exactly socketed. They're not easily replaceable. But what's important here is the fact that DartZeel amplifier, as same goes for the real one and the same goes for this clone, are single-ended internal, which means that balanced inputs will need to be converted to single-ended, and that's why we have those balanced line converters here. These are pretty good according to specification that you can see on the Texas Instruments page. These are basically, they were being produced by Burr Brown, and Burr Brown now belongs to Texas Instruments. They were superseded by new IC that does the same job and is supposed to be better one, and pin for pin compatible. And that's that component is listed in the INA-157 PA page. So if you'd be willing to replace these with something better, you can do that, because there is pin for pin replacement, door pin replacement. Okay, let's rotate that, and before we'll go to the details, let's take a look at the amplifier board here. The amplifier board is different than in Trans Audio version of the clone, and that was one of the reasons that I got this amplifier. If it would be exactly the same, there would be no point in buying another one with different chassis only. So let's zoom there. No, I think that's a little bit too much. Sorry about that. Okay, all the red ones are standard German VMAs. And these blue capacitors here are LNAS. The black one in the lower part of the board are Rubicons, and we will see the marking on the board when I rotate the amplifier. I have no idea, I cannot recognize the logo on this MKP capacitors, all of the blue ones. If you know that brand, please give me a shout in the comments, because honestly I have no idea what company uses that kind of triangle. Or I do know, but I don't remember. Anyway, I wasn't able to recognize these ones. And we have some ceramic resistors here. All in all, the boards are looking neat, they are clean, and there are no problems with flux or something like that. As for the transistors, as you can see, the type is marked on the PCB. And we have 4 pairs here and 3 pairs here for each channel. Now let's rotate the amplifier and take a look at the marking at the board here. And 108 Pro. This is exactly the same board as for the right channel, but it's just rotated so we can see the other side of the board. And we can see power inputs, and down below are speaker outputs. The speaker outputs are connected to the protection circuit that can be found on the power boards. It's the one that's using transparent Omron relay, but the power boards are basically the power boards, and we have capacitor banks, filtering capacitor banks, 6 capacitors per channel, and these are, let's zoom in, L for audio capacitors, and each one of them is rated for 10,000 microfarads and 63 volts. So all in all we have 60,000 microfarads per channel. These are the capacitors that we had some discussions about earlier, because some of you guys are thinking that these ones may be fake. I'm not so sure about that. I'd rather say these capacitors were made to order for one of the audio equipment manufacturers, because I've seen that they are available on AliExpress, and I've seen the photos with packaging for those. But these are only one reason, let's say. The second reason, more down-to-earth reason, is that as I see and as I read in the comments from you guys, more and more amplifiers that were previously using these capacitors are switching to Vishay BCs, blue ones. My guess or guesstimate would be simply because these are out of stock, and that's it. Okay, what else do we have here? Rectifiers, another set of MKPs, and this little guy here is slow start device. So all in all, the build looks in general similar to other amplifier builds, especially the D5 Pro DartZeel clone, meaning that we have toroidal transformer, then we have separate power board, we have power amplifier boards, and we have speaker protection circuit on the power boards. What's the difference here? The difference here is that this one is full dual mono construction, meaning that for each channel we have separate toroidal transformer, we have separate power board, and we have separate amplifier. So all in all, 2 mono amplifiers in one chassis. What else can I tell you about the build? Yes. Let's see if we can get that on camera. Where was that? Yeah, it's here. It's here. We have a similar DC servo circuit as it was with D5 Pro, and it's using the same IC. I think it's LN373. This can be replaced with something more precise, although that one is still not bad. So the important thing here is that this design incorporates the DC servo too. The original DartZeel didn't have anything like that. The components were chosen with matching tolerances so precise that the DC at the output would be close to 0, but at the same time it created some problems. What else can we see here, or what else can't we see here? And this is something that made me slightly worried. Take a look at the board and think, what are we missing here? And take a look at the other board. Yes. One thing that we're missing here, and that was present in all amplifiers built by Transaudio, are separate fuses for amplifiers. We have fuses, one fuse in the power socket connector here, and we do not have any kind of fuse. At least I cannot see any kind of fuse on the amplifier boards themselves. I think let's zoom a little on the slow start. Yes, they are here. The additional layer of protection will be provided by NTCs that can be seen down under the block transformer here. But this means that we have the first level of protection is here. The second one are these NTCs that will blow up with when the current will be too high. But other than that, we have no fuses on the boards, which from engineering point of view is not exactly desirable. I would like to have another set of fuse here and on the other side, but from audio perspective it will mean that the circuit will be a little bit simpler, and you probably are aware of the ongoing discussion of the audiophile quality fuses that will affect the sound quality. Well, they do, but only for the digital to analog converters, in my experience. But what I wanted to say is that the fuse, the glass fuse that you would usually see here, it's actually just a piece of wire that's in the glass tube, meaning effectively that it works as a short antenna, because it's not shielded in any way unless you will buy some more expensive fuse. The regular glass fuse won't be shielded in any way, so it will be picking any kind of stray EMI that may be created and produced here inside the amplifier. Obviously, the chassis made of metal should work as a shield, as a Faraday cage for all equipment inside. Yes. And I think that's it. That's it, I think. I've powered it on. It works fine. I mean, for all of the equipment that I'm receiving, for all of the parcels that I'm getting, the first thing that I do is I let the equipment get warm. Because right now we have winter, it's not very cold. It's actually not as cold as it would be 20 years ago. It's close to zero, meaning that the equipment will be quite cool, so you shouldn't be connecting this to any power source just after opening the box. Let it warm up so there will be no condensation inside and humidity will not be a problem. That's the first thing. The second thing I do is I open up the device and I'm checking if we have any problems, mechanical problems coming from the transport. I've also learned that the shops selling equipment on AliExpress call that violent arrival, meaning that somebody along the way, for example, dropped the package. So I'm looking for all kinds of obvious damage, like something broken, something loose. And yes, of course, this was protected very well, and there was no problem like that. But I'm telling you this is my second step. And the first step, I'm connecting device to power and looking for obvious signs of other types of problems like fire and smoke. Yes, this one was also working fine. So, okay, that was not really useful. So, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to connect that one to speakers, probably one of those guys, and I'll give it a good 1.5, maybe 2 weeks of burning, based on my experience with Trans-Audio clone, and based on what I've read about the real ones, about the real DartZeels. They get to sound as they should somewhere between 120 and 150 hours of burn-in. So I'll leave it playing for 1.5, maybe 2 weeks, and then I try to find time to do a proper listening session, to do a full video review. One more thing that I wanted to tell you, and I forgot to do that at the beginning, these blocks of metal are here purely for aesthetical reasons. They do not work as handles, and they are screwed in with screws that can be accessed from the back here. So if you prefer to have flat, simple front plate, you can just remove them, because from what I see, these are not placed in any kind of groove. They are just screwed on the flat front plate. Yeah. If you had seen anything interesting inside, if I've missed something, if you noticed something that may be useful to other guys and me, just give me a shout in the comments section. And while I'm telling this, let's do a short video, zoom video on the components inside. As you can see, the boards themselves also have quality control past stickers, so that's encouraging. One interesting thing that I probably should mention, you may see that the power boards are also branded with manufacturer logo. I will link to the store in the description, although I mean it got here safely and without any kind of problems, but as I wrote in the comments for one of my community posts earlier, it was like they just took the package and threw it in the sea, and the amplifier had to swim to Europe on its own, because it took 1.5 months, more than 1.5 months to reach Europe. It was one of the longest shipments that I had, and what's interesting, the shipping number that the seller gave me was actually real. So it wasn't like that they gave the fake shipping number, which sometimes they do when they are not ready with manufacture process, and you wait for the amplifier to be actually manufactured and then it's shipped. But in this case, they've actually shipped it because I was able to see the changes on the tracking, but it took so long to get here. Yeah, and yeah, I will link to the shop in the description, because all in all, the shipment got here, it was perfectly secured, the amplifier seems to be working fine, the build looks fine, but be aware of the fact that guys in China have holiday, New Year's holiday right now, and I think it'll end in the beginning of February or something like that. So all of your orders may be further delayed, and some of the shops that I've seen are marking the stocks on amplifiers and preamplifiers as sold out, so they will not receive any orders during the holiday season, because their shops are actually closed then. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you like that video, you're more than welcome to support my channel by buying me a beer via Super Thanks on YouTube. That's also somewhere below the video here. So anyway, stay tuned for a full review. It will take some time. It will have to burn in for 1.5–2 weeks, and then later I'll have to find some time to do a full review. So it will take some time, but it will be here in my channel. Bye guys, have a nice day, and see you next time.